Tonight, the German government has reportedly decided to supply Ukraine with Leopard 2 battle tanks. Now, this is according to a growing number of media reports here in Germany. Now, if this is true, the move would follow days of talks between Ukraine's allies, during which Germany was widely criticized for moving too slow with the decision. Other allies, including Poland, France, and the United States, are also reportedly planning to send combat tanks to Ukraine. All right, let's go now to our political correspondent, Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. He's following this story for us. Benjamin, we've got these media reports here in Germany. It looks like Chancellor Olaf Scholz has made the decision to send these tanks to Ukraine. We can or cannot confirm that.
That's right. That was the first article that we had by Der Spiegel saying a decision was made on two things. On one side, giving green lights to other European allies who want to send their tanks, that they can do so to Ukraine because they have to get the green light from Berlin. And the other one, rather surprising one as well, is that Germany is also planning on sending these tanks, so German tanks out of the Bundeswehr stock that could be then sent to Ukraine. The number that Der Spiegel is reporting is a company of Leopard 2A6 tanks, a company of 14 tanks. So rather surprising news when it comes to this number, but as you just said, these comes after several days, several weeks of pressure and of discussion, not only from within the German opposition, but also from within the government, with many also now applauding these media reports. But as you just mentioned, we still have to wait for the confirmation by the German government.
Yeah, and we know that the German government has been under pressure from many allies. Talk to me about what we have been seeing the past few days. What could have possibly led to this shift in Olaf Scholz's position?
Well, the German Chancellor has always said so. This was the final call that he needed to make. It was sure that it would not have been the defense minister, who has been in the office only for a few days. One of the allies who has criticized Berlin pretty strongly was Poland, implying that they would also send the tanks without even having the green light from Berlin. So they had this official announcement. We had this media reports earlier today saying that a decision would be taken in a few days, but also from within the government. And some of them also praised this decision for this media reports. One of them is the chair of the Bundestag Defense Committee, Marie-Agnes Strack-Zimmermann, who said that the decision to deliver these tanks was a tough one, but inevitable. And it's pretty similar to the chief of the conservative CDU party, Friedrich Merz, who said it was a good decision, but Scholz hesitated for too long. And that was something that allies have been saying. Why is he taking so long for this decision to say we're giving you the green lights to send these Leopard tanks to Ukraine?
Yeah, the German Chancellor has always said that Germany will not go it alone by sending tanks to Ukraine. That was always a message that many understood to be directed at the United States, and that it should send its tanks to Ukraine. We've got reports that that is now going to happen. Could this have anything to do then with this Chancellor's apparent change of heart?
The German government spokesperson denied that there is any relation, that Berlin is not waiting for Washington to take this first step to then say that Germany will also send those tanks. But of course, it increases pressure, because the argument to say that Germany will not act alone and wait for the allies, as soon as French, as soon as British say, the Brits say that they want to send their tanks and they're showing that they also have interest to do it, of course, that argument is not valid, is not strong anymore. So many said that the Chancellor was isolating himself with these cautious approach that he always mentioned, that he will not take this step alone. But if there are several allies who say we want to do this, of course, it was a matter of time, and the pressure was increasing on the German Chancellor to finally take this step.
DW's Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber with the latest here in Berlin. Benjamin, thank you. We want to take this story now to our Washington bureau chief, Ines Pohl. She is following from that side of the Atlantic. Ines, there is a report that the U.S. has committed to sending its own tanks, those Abrams tanks, to Ukraine. Can we confirm that?
I can't confirm it. I just talked to a source, and the process is really in the making, and we just expect this decision to be announced pretty much every hour, at least in this week, Brent. So these M1 Abrams battle tanks, they have some disadvantages, and therefore the US took so long really to decide on that, why they're super heavy in the first place. They might not make it over some bridges in Ukraine. That's what General Petraeus told us in an interview some weeks ago. Then they need jet fuel. That's also also really difficult to get on a Ukrainian battlefield. For example, the Leopards, they're running on diesel, much easier to provide. And then the third point kind of is that it needs a lot of training to be able to run these Abram tanks. So even if the United States would make this decision today, it would take some months probably before the tanks really would reach Ukraine.
And I'll ask you what I was asking Benjamin about German Chancellor Scholz. He has said that Germany will not go it alone in sending tanks to Ukraine. Has the United States, has it got the message? And is this decision, this possible decision of sending Abrams tanks, is that the answer?
It definitely plays a role. You know, I was at the State Department in the press conference yesterday, and I could ask the press person of the secretary, you know, how the relationship is with Germany and if the U.S. understands the hesitation. And he basically said, yes, we do understand, and reminded us who would have thought that Germany would be so heavily involved just 1 year ago. So I'm sure that the U.S. government, that the White House wants to make it as easy for Germany as possible to provide those tanks, which are obviously so crucial for President Vladimir Zelensky.